Welcome to 500 must-know facts about Stray Kids. Stray Kids began their journey in the industry through a survival program released in 2018. Unlike other programs, this one focused on debuting the group that Bang Chan had already formed. Bang Chan had selected each member at different times during their trainee days. He essentially chose the people he wanted to debut with. He chose IN during a monthly evaluation with a Halloween concept. He thought IN would be good as the center, and seeing him perform with confidence caught his attention. With Seung-min, he considered him very diligent and was impressed by his way of thinking. On one occasion during lunch, Seung-min was the only one who kindly told everyone to enjoy their meal before leaving. That action left a strong impression on Bang Chan. With Felix, both of them are from Australia, and since Felix has a unique voice, Bang Chan wanted to experiment with many things using his tone. With Han, he quickly realized that he was an all-rounder. He was good at everything, and was capable of singing, rapping, and dancing very well. In Bang Chan words, he was like a multi-purpose key. With Hyunjin, he saw how passionate he was about dancing. He believed Hyunjin could continue to grow because his stage talent captured his attention. With Changbin, they had already written songs together. Since they already had Han as well, Bang Chan felt very happy whenever the three of them were together. With Lee No, he was impressed because despite having little time as a trainee, he was very skilled in dance and understood the logistics and environment of choreography. Bang Chan considered him the right person to lead the dance performances. After gathering all the members, they went through several evaluations during the program, and there were 2 eliminations. The first elimination was Lee No, and the second was Felix.
아이고. 그래서 틀려요, 진짜. 미쳤어요. Always find me, yeah? I'm not gonna leave you behind. Yeah?
However, in the end, they were given a second chance. Seeing that the group shined brighter when they were all together, the decision was made to debut them as a complete group. On January 8th, 2018, they released their pre-debut EP titled Mixtape. It included 7 songs that were performed and composed by the members during the program. This album was not just any album. It was literally a raw portrait of what they felt even before calling themselves professional idols. The songs spoke about frustration, anger, feeling lost, and not fitting into the system. The main track was Elevator. It was released as a digital single in 2017. The title is a wordplay that combines the words hell and elevator. It symbolizes an elevator that passes through suffering and despair in order to finally rise toward success. The lyrics describe feelings of loneliness, darkness, and the pressure from those who tell them to give up on their dreams. It uses phrases such as, "My life is at the edge of a cliff," to show the anxiety of not knowing whether they would be able to debut. Despite the initial dark tone, the final message is one of perseverance. The members express that even if the path feels like a hell, they are determined to rise from the darkness and reach the top through their own effort. When the album was released, it caused surprise because it debuted at number 2 on the Gaon album chart. This was considered unthinkable for a group that had not yet officially debuted. Now let us talk about 3 Racha, a fundamental subunit of the group made up of Han, Changbin, and Bang Chan. It is the subunit responsible for the composition, writing, and arrangement of the majority of the group discography. They were formed at the end of 2016 in Seoul. They began by releasing mixtapes on platforms such as SoundCloud before Stray Kids officially existed as a group. Their name is inspired by the spicy sauce Sriracha, symbolizing that their music goes well with everything and adds an intense flavor. Moving forward to February 2018, the countdown began. JYP released teasers with the phrases, "I am not," and "Who am I?" Changbin explained that the album was called I Am Not because they themselves did not yet have a clear answer about who they were. The members explained that the title represents the acknowledgement that I am not what others want me to be, or I do not yet know who I am. Instead of presenting themselves as perfect and confident idols, they chose to show the frustration and identity crisis that many young people experience. On March 25th, they officially debuted with the title track District 9. It was explained that this song represents the oppressive space where society tries to shape and control you. Stray Kids expressed their intention to break out of that space, even though they did not yet know exactly where they were heading. During that year, Bang Chan said that he wished for Stray Kids to last for many years, even if the path ahead was difficult. That same year, on April 14th, they performed at KCON Japan. They had a special collaboration with Woo Young of 2PM, performing hits such as Go Crazy and Hands Up. On August 6th, they released their second mini-album, I Am You. The title track was My Pace. This time, the question was no longer who they were, but who they were trying to become in the middle of constant comparisons. The song was directed toward young people who felt that they were falling behind in life. In interviews, Han explained that the song was born from the anxiety of looking around and thinking that everyone else was moving forward faster than you. It is an explosion of energy with a very clear social message: the struggle against envy and the pressure of comparing oneself to others. The sound blends hip-hop with elements of alternative rock. During these promotions, Hyunjin began drawing attention for his expressive facial changes, starting to demonstrate strong stage presence. In September, the group began openly speaking about the narrative arc they were building. The I Am trilogy was not just a series of albums, but a real story of growth. On October 22nd, 2018, Stray Kids released their third mini-album, I Am You. The title track was I Am You. This album marked an important emotional shift. After the confusion and pressure, the message now was that they were not alone. The title track spoke about finding identity through connection with others. The central message is, I find who I am by seeing myself reflected in you. I Am You showed a more melodic and sentimental side compared to the aggression of District 9 or the energy of My Pace, while still maintaining their hip-hop foundation. The song Hero Soup is dedicated to working parents. It reflects on the harsh reality of Korean work culture and how parents endure stress, using soup as a symbol of strength. It is narrated through the eyes of a child who admires his father, seeing him as a hero who recovers with this soup after a difficult day. It is a tribute to those parents who sacrifice for their families, even if they cope through social habits such as drinking to endure the pressure. Their song, 0325, is a direct reference to March 25th, their debut date. The production of the track is highly symbolic because it combines the sounds of the three intros from their debut trilogy, Not, Who, and You. It functions as a perfect closing piece that ties together their entire initial journey and reaffirms their promise to continue moving forward together. The song Get Cool is the fifth track on their third mini-album. It is known as one of the brightest and most cheerful songs in their early discography. The song celebrates everyday luck and the enjoyment of small moments. It speaks about simple yet fortunate situations. The group also won many awards in the Best New Artist category. At MAMA, they won Best New Male Artist. At the Asia Artist Awards, they won Rookie of the Year. At the Sorabada Best K Music Awards, they won the New Hallyu Rookie Award. At the MBC Plus X Genie Music Awards, they won the Male Rookie Award. Other important ceremonies such as the Golden Disc Awards and the Seoul Music Awards were held at the beginning of 2019, where they received the awards for Best New Artist and Rookie of the Year respectively. At the beginning of that year, in January, they began their tour titled Unveil Tour I Am. The tour started on January 19th, 2019 in Bangkok, Thailand. Although it began in Asia, it expanded to Oceania, North America, and Europe. An impressive fact is that this tour was held only 10 months after their official debut. On March 25th, exactly 1 year after their debut, they released their fourth mini-album titled Cl&eacute. The title combines the French word clé, which means key, with the Korean word Miroh, which means maze. If 2018 was about confusion, Miroh was about ambition. The title track was Miroh. It gives the feeling of entering a gigantic city where you have to fight in order to survive. Bang Chan explained that Miroh represented the moment when you step into the real world and realize that no one is going to wait for you. The message was clear: we are going to run without looking back. The concept focused on young people who, after leaving the controlled environment of their previous albums, enter a maze that represents the real, wild, and unfamiliar world. The songs explore the determination to forge one's own path, accepting difficulties, as a personal choice rather than settling. The album is known for its eclectic mix of genres, blending EDM, hip-hop, and R&B with innovative elements. One of the songs on this album, specifically 19, was written by Han. The song addresses the melancholy and fear of leaving adolescence behind upon turning 20 years old. Thanks to this album, they achieved their first trophy on a music program. It happened on M Countdown on April 4th, marking an important step in their path toward success. Bang Chan thanked Stay for this award and stated that he considered it confirmation that their music was reaching people. In its first month alone, the album sold more than 100,000 copies. It also reached number 1 on the iTunes World Albums chart in more than 15 countries. In February, Hyunjin was announced as an MC for show Music Core. He formed a popular trio with Chani of SF9 and Mina of Gugudan. His era as MC began on February 16, 2019, and concluded on February 20th, 2021. In June, they released their special album, Cl&eacute Yellow Wood. The title track was Side Effects. Continuing the narrative of the Cl&eacute series, this album explores the consequences of the decisions made inside the maze. The title refers to a forest where paths split in different directions, symbolizing the confusion and challenges of youth. In interviews, Han explained that Side Effects was not meant to be pleasant, but honest. He said that they wanted to show that even when you move forward, the pain does not disappear. The experimental sound of the drop divided opinions, but one thing was clear: Stray Kids was not willing to soften their message in order to please others. It is considered one of their most musically daring works, exploring industrial and psychedelic sounds. During the summer of that year, they reduced their music show promotions, but increased their internal content. They held longer live broadcasts. They shared deeper conversations between the members. They reflected openly about exhaustion and pressure. In one broadcast, Bang Chan said that there were days when they felt afraid of disappointing people, but they preferred to fail while being honest. On October 9th, they released Double Knot. It became the first single of the final trilogy. It served as the first pre-release for their 5th mini-album, Cl&eacute Levanter. The song belongs to the trap genre and stands out for its powerful choreography and intense sound. The concept of tying a double knot symbolizes preparing to run forward with determination, reinforcing the message of self-reliance. However, during this period, the group went through a difficult moment due to the announcement of former member Woojin's departure. The announcement was made on October 28, 2019. On that same day, it was announced that the planned comeback would be postponed. The songs would be re-recorded. The group would continue as 8 members. On November 13th, they released the digital single Astronaut. Some official listings mark November 14th due to the time zone in Korea. The song has a completely different tone, softer, more reflective, and more hopeful. Astronaut speaks about following your path even when you feel lost in space. Many fans interpreted the song as a direct message to the fandom, assuring them that the group would continue moving forward. On December 9th, the 5th mini-album was finally released. The title track was Levanter. It stands out for its lyrical message about letting go in order to find oneself and move forward. In this way, they closed the Cl&eacute trilogy with a message of liberation. With this comeback, they obtained their 2nd trophy on a music program, on M Countdown, on November 19th. On November 26th, they released their mixtape, Gone Days. It became the first official installment of the Mixtape project. This was a series of singles that the group released periodically to show a more personal side and to thank their fans for their support. The title is a wordplay. In Korean, the term kondai refers to someone with an outdated or authoritarian mindset who often says, "back in my days." Stray Kids uses Gone Days to express that those times are over and that they prefer to focus on the present and the future. Later, the song was included as track number 13 on their first full-length studio album. Closing the year, at the Asia Artist Awards, they won the Star 15 Popularity Award. At the Sorabada Best K-Music Awards, they won the Rising Hot Star Award. At the Gaon Chart Music Awards, they won New Artist of the Year. On March 18, 2020, they released the Japanese compilation album Stray Kids 2020. This album marked their official discographic debut in the Japanese market. They were under the label Epic Records Japan. The album included 27 songs covering their biggest hits since pre-debut. It debuted at number 3 on the Oricon Weekly Albums chart. In the following months, due to the pandemic, the group did not have much public activity. They used that time to connect with Stay in different ways, such as through live broadcasts. Then, on June 17th, they released their first full-length studio album, Go Live. The title track was God's Menu. With this album, they solidified their own musical identity. It marked the birth of the genre known as mala taste. It was compared to the intense and addictive flavor of mala sauce. As their sound became more experimental and distinctive, the title track became their most viral and emblematic music video. The metaphor of cooking music in a 5-star restaurant defined their creative identity. The members presented themselves as chefs who do not follow established recipes, but instead create their own flavors. The music video surpassed 500 million views on YouTube. It became one of the most emblematic music videos of the 4th generation. It was their first album to surpass 250,000 copies sold on the Gala chart. It earned them their first platinum certification. The Korean title is a wordplay. Shin means new, but the Chinese character used means God, suggesting that their music is on a higher or divine level. Bang Chan explained that God's Menu represented the musical identity of Stray Kids. He compared it to a restaurant that serves dishes that not everyone can digest, but that are authentic. During this era, the legendary Felix line was born.
Cooking like a chef, I'm a 5-star Michelin.
During promotions, the members revealed that another song had originally been planned for the comeback, but after finishing the production of God's Menu, they knew that was the right direction. On September 14th, they released In Life. It was the repackaged version of their full-length studio album. The title track was Backdoor. The concept reinforced the idea of living life with the same intensity with which they faced their challenges. The song became an instant success. Its concept revolves around inviting people to an exclusive party through the back door. It is known for its funk pop and EDM sound. It is also famous for the iconic knocking on the door dance move. Backdoor was selected by Time magazine as one of the 10 best songs of 2020. They also achieved 2 consecutive wins on music programs. During this era, Hyunjin was the member who stood out the most in fan cams. With In Life, the group reached sales figures that tripled their previous releases. They surpassed 500,000 copies sold. The album received a double platinum certification in Korea. It also reached number 1 on the iTunes album charts in more than 5 countries simultaneously. Due to the pandemic, the group was unable to hold a physical tour, but on November 22nd, 2020, they held their first large-scale online concert through the platform Beyond Live. During this event, they performed the Korean version of All In for the first time. The song belongs to their first Japanese mini-album. That mini-album was released on November 4th. At the end of the year, thanks to the impact of Go Live and In Life, they received several awards. At the Fact Music Awards, they won Global Hottest. At the Asia Artist Awards, they won Best Music Video for God Menu. That same year, Changbin also released Streetlight on May 17th. It is one of his deepest lyrics, where he compares the loneliness of people to a streetlight that shines alone in the darkness. He also had a brief but impactful participation in the rap audition program, Show Me the Money. He received praise for his vocal power and rap technique. Han released his own compositions, such as Close and I Got It. IN released a cover of If It Is You. Sumin released multiple covers as well, including songs by artists such as Day 6. Moving into 2021, the year began with February 20th, when they held their first fan meeting. Due to global pandemic restrictions at the time, the event was streamed live through the V Live platform. The central theme of the event was Stray Kids X, where the 8 members acted as detectives on a set designed to solve mysteries. Just a few days later, on March 18th, they held their first Japanese fan meeting. To mention something truly iconic, there was the program Kingdom, a competition show in which they participated alongside other groups. If you want to know more about that program, you can watch the summary video. From the very first episode, despite being one of the youngest groups, they demonstrated their talent. During the show, the iconic song Wolfgang was also born. Another performance that gained attention was their remix of a song by Blackpink. The stage concept was inspired by the character Deadpool. By winning the program, they earned the right to their own variety show and a week of special promotions organized by Minette. On July 26th, they released the mixtape O. The track debuted at #1 on the Billboard World Digital Song Sales Chart. In August, they released their second full-length album, Noisy. The title is a clever wordplay with two interpretations. Noisy was a direct response to critics who labeled their music negatively as noise music or construction music. The group decided to reclaim the term, declaring that if their music is noise, it will be the most powerful noise in the world. No Easy reflects the group philosophy that the path to success and life itself is not easy. The title track was Thunderous. The song blends traditional Korean sounds with modern hip-hop and EDM. It surpassed 830,000 pre-orders before its official release. It sold more than 641,000 copies in its first week, nearly tripling their previous records. It became the first Stray Kids album to surpass 1 million copies sold. It also became the first million-seller album in the history of JYP Entertainment. The album included 14 tracks produced almost entirely by Racha. Cheese is a song filled with sarcasm that directly mocks the criticism about their sound. Red Lights is a unit track by Bang Chan and Hyunjin that became immensely popular for its choreography and lyrics about work obsession. Secret Secret and Silent Cry explore vulnerability and mental health. These tracks balance the aggression of the album with emotional depth. The album topped the Gaon album chart. It also achieved international impact on the Billboard Global 200. In addition, they earned 6 wins on music programs, 2 wins on Show Champion, 2 wins on M Countdown, and 1 win each on Music Bank and Inkigayo. Notably, it marked their first win on SBS Inkigayo. This show is considered one of the most difficult for boy groups due to its strong focus on digital performance. On October 13th, Stray Kids released their second official Japanese single, Scars. It reached #2 on the Oricon Singles Chart. It also charted on the Billboard Japan Hot 100. The single sold more than 180,000 physical copies. On November 29th, Stray Kids released Christmas Eve L. It was a special holiday album that played with the concept of being naughty boys rather than following a traditional sentimental theme. The album debuted at #1 on the Gaon album chart. It sold more than 654,000 copies in its first week in Korea alone. It was certified double platinum by the Korea Music Content Association. It was later certified triple platinum for accumulated sales. To close the year on December 23rd, Stray Kids released Stray Kids 2021. They also released a Korean version of Scars. That year, at the Asia Artist Awards, they won Performance of the Year for Thunderous. At the Fact Music Awards, they won Artist of the Year. At Mama, they won Worldwide Fans' Choice Top 10. At the Gaon Chart Music Awards, they won World Hallyu Star of the Year. At the Seoul Music Awards, they received a Bonsang. At the Golden Disc Awards, they won Best Performance. It is also important to highlight that Lee No served as an MC for Show Music Core that year. He debuted as a presenter on August 14th, alongside Jungwoo of NCT and Kim Minju. On July 3rd, the song Drive was released as a unit track with Bang Chan. In October, Hyunjin was selected as Artist of the Month on Studio Choom, where he released his iconic performance. Seungmin released his first solo original soundtrack titled Here Always. The song was included in the drama Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. Through the SKZ record project, Han released self-written songs such as Wish You Back and Happy. IN gained attention with the memorable track Maknae on Top, alongside Bang Chan and Changbin. The song playfully highlights his position as the youngest yet powerful member of the group. Felix had individual photo shoots for magazines such as GQ Korea and W Korea. Continuing into 2022, they began the year with their traditional goals video, Step Out 2022. They also resumed the relaunch of their content series, 2 Kids Room. In February, they held their second fan meeting titled Love Stay. It took place on February 12th and 13th at the Olympic Hall in Seoul. The February 13th show was simultaneously streamed online through Beyond Live for international fans. The event featured a Valentine-themed chocolate factory concept. On March 18th, Stray Kids released their 6th Korean mini-album, Ordinary. The title combines the words odd and ordinary. It delivers a clear message that what is strange can also be normal. This reflects the group's philosophy of embracing differences and finding strength in what makes us unique. The title track was Maniac.
Maniac, 나서 빠진 것처럼 미쳐 Maniac.
It features an explosive rhythm that blends trap hip-hop and EDM. The song and the album as a whole represent a group that has learned to express itself freely without asking for permission. The album surpassed 1.7 million copies sold worldwide. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 in the United States. This became their first album to reach that position. Each song on Ordinary represents a different facet of identity and personal freedom. Venom plays with the idea of toxicity and resistance. Freeze captures a feeling of emotional pause in the middle of chaos. Charmer focuses on self-confidence and draws inspiration from the tale of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Muddy Water expresses the desire to stay true to oneself while overcoming the negativity of life. After the release of Ordinary, Stray Kids began their second world tour titled Maniac World Tour. This was their first in-person tour since the pandemic. It marked a reunion with fans in sold-out venues after years of restrictions. The tour opened with 3 concerts in Seoul on April 29th and 30th and May 1st. It continued with a total of 42 shows across Asia, North America, and Australia. The tour concluded on April 2nd in Los Angeles, in the United States. While the tour was underway, Stray Kids maintained their creative pace, and on June 10th released the Japanese single Circus. It became one of their biggest hits in Japan. The concept plays with the image of a circus show, where each member reveals a unique dynamic and entertaining side. The music video went viral after surpassing 100 million views on YouTube. It set a record for an original Japanese track by a 4th-generation K-pop group. On June 22nd, the Japanese EP Circus was officially released and received platinum certification for sales in Japan. During the summer, Stray Kids celebrated the 4th anniversary of their fandom, Stay, with a special week called Stay Week. Behind-the-scenes videos, special messages for Stay, and appearances on programs such as Kiss the Radio were released. As the main anniversary gift on August 1st, they released the music video for Mixtape Time Out. On October 7th, Stray Kids released their 7th Korean EP Maxident. The title is a combination of the words maximum and accident. It represents a major incident or an unexpected event. The title track was Case 143. It marked the first time the group explored the theme of love as a main title track. They compare love to an unexpected incident. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. This made Stray Kids the only artist to achieve 2 #1 albums on the chart in 2022. It surpassed 2.24 million pre-orders before release. The title track is inspired by the code 143, which represents I Love You. Maxident became a 300,000 certified album by the Korea Music Content Association. That year, they participated in KCON LA. They also performed at the KBS Song Festival in December. Unfortunately, in February, it was announced that Felix had been diagnosed with an intervertebral disc hernia. He visited the hospital after experiencing severe back pain, and the injury was confirmed following detailed examinations. To avoid movements that would strain his lower back, his performances during the fan meeting, Stray Kids Chocolate Factory, were limited. Alongside Hyunjin, he attended fashion events for YSL Beauty in Paris and Todd's in Seoul. During the tour, Bang Chan continued hosting his live broadcasts, Chan's Room, from hotel rooms. At the Mama Awards, they won 3 trophies, including Most Popular Artist. They also won Worldwide Fans' Choice and Yogibo Chill Artist. At the Asia Artist Awards, they won Album of the Year. At the Fact Music Awards, they received 2 awards, Artist of the Year and Fan N-Star Choice Award. In February, they began the year with the release of The Sound. It is officially their first full Japanese studio album. The album includes 10 tracks, including DLMLU, produced by Hyunjin. It also features Novel, produced by Sungmin. The album debuted at #1 on the Oricon Albums Chart and the Billboard Japan Hot Albums Chart. The group promoted it through performances on iconic Japanese programs such as Music Station. In June, they released their 3rd studio album, 5 Star. The album reached 5.13 million pre-orders. At that time, it became the most pre-ordered album in K-pop history. The title track was S-Class. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, becoming their third consecutive album to achieve this milestone. The album contains 12 tracks, including Hall of Fame, Item, Super Bowl, and the collaboration with Tiger JK on Top Line. The title track blends hip-hop, boom, bap, and pop. The message is clear: in a world full of special people, they are the rarest and brightest. Beautiful is a song written entirely in English by Bang Chan for Stay. It reminds fans that they are beautiful just the way they are. Bang Chan shared during his live broadcasts that he wrote the song to deliver a message he himself needed to hear. On July 1st and 2nd, they held their third fan meeting, Pilot for 5-Star, in Seoul. The 8 members dressed as pilots and flight crew following a space and aviation concept. On July 20th, Hyunjin was announced as a global ambassador for Versace. He became the first South Korean artist to join the Italian fashion house as a global ambassador. Because of this, he was nicknamed the Prince of Versace. On July 21st, Stray Kids made history as the first K-pop group to headline Lollapalooza Paris. They performed at the Hippodrome de Longchamp before an estimated crowd of more than 60,000 people. Media outlets such as Paris Match and various music critics described the show as electrifying. On August 16th, Stray Kids began the 5-Star Dome Tour 2023. It was their first fully sold-out dome tour. The 10 concerts attracted nearly 341,000 attendees. They became the first fourth-generation K-pop group to hold concerts in Japan's largest domes. These included Vantolin Dome Nagoya, Kyokera Dome Osaka, and the iconic Tokyo Dome. On August 22nd, the French fashion house Louis Vuitton officially announced Felix as its new global ambassador. The artistic director of the women's collections revealed that he discovered Felix during the pre-fall 2023 show in Seoul and was captivated by his style, energy, and boldness. On September 6th, Stray Kids released their first Japanese AA side EP titled Social Path/Super Bowl. The main track, Social Path, featured the iconic Japanese singer Lisa. On September 12th, Stray Kids made their official debut at the MTV Video Music Awards. The group won the award for their single S-Class in the Best K-pop category. On September 23rd, Racha performed at the Global Citizen Festival in Central Park. Stray Kids were originally scheduled to appear as a full group, but a minor car accident involving Lee No Hyunjin and Sungmin days earlier forced them to cancel the complete group performance following medical advice. On November 10th, they released their 8th mini-album titled Rockstar. The title track was La 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 La. The Korean title plays with the characters Miroh I Rock. The song delivers the message that no matter the difficulties, we should choose joy and keep rocking. On November 19th, they performed at the Billboard Music Awards. They won the award for Top K-Pop Album. Stray Kids entered the Billboard Hot 100 for the first time in their career, debuting at number 90. It also became their 4th consecutive album to enter the Billboard 200. In February 2023, Changbin starred in a series of commercials for the Samsung Galaxy S23. As part of the promotion for the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5, he released the special track Fly High in September. In July, Changbin actively participated in the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked in Seoul. Han released several deeply emotional Stray Kids record songs, such as Volcano. IN attended Paris Fashion Week for Alexander McQueen. At the Asia Artist Awards, they won Stage of the Year and Best Creator with Racha. At the Golden Disc Awards, they won Best Album and Most Popular Artist. At the Hanteo Music Awards, they won Best Performance and Artist of the Year. At the Fact Music Awards, they won Artist of the Year and the 4-Star Award. Moving on to 2024, on March 5th, Felix made his runway debut for Louis Vuitton at Paris Fashion Week. In March, Sungmin released the OST Phobia for the webtoon The Reason I Have to Die. On March 18th, the group delivered a major performance during the MLB World Tour Seoul Series. On May 6th, they made history as the first K-pop group to attend the Met Gala in New York. They attended as personal guests of Tommy Hilfiger. Each member wore custom-tailored outfits incorporating the brand's signature colors. They became the most mentioned male artists on social media during the event. On May 10th, they released the digital single Lose My Breath. It was a collaborative track with Charlie Puth. Thanks to this collaboration, Stray Kids entered the Billboard Hot 100 for the second time in their career. The group performed the song live for the first time on Good Morning America on May 15th. On July 8th, JYP Entertainment confirmed that all 8 members of Stray Kids renewed their contracts early. On July 19th, they released their 9th mini-album titled 8. The title track was Chuck Chuck Boom. The music video featured actors Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. The title references the popular slang term 8, which implies dominating or devouring something. 8 plays with the idea of hunger and appetite, not only for food but for music experiences and connection with the audience. The title suggests that Stray Kids devour genre's expectations and limits serving their music as an energetic and visceral feast. Musically, the EP blends hip-hop drum and bass trap and pop. The group also contributed to the official soundtrack of the film with the track Slash, released on July 23rd. It symbolizes the group's ambition to dominate the music industry with their authentic style. The EP debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 in the United States. This made Stray Kids the first group to have their first 5 charting albums debut at number 1 on the chart. The album surpassed 3 million copies sold. It also received gold certifications in markets such as the United States and France. In August, they launched an ambitious world tour that included 56 shows across 34 cities. At the Billboard Music Awards, they won Top Global K-Pop Artist. This marked their second consecutive year winning the award. At the People's Choice Awards, they won Group or Duo of the Year. At the iHeartRadio Music Awards, they won K-Pop Album of the Year. At the Tencent Music Year-End Awards, they received K-Pop Artist of the Year and K-Pop Album of the Year. In Korea, at the Asia Star Entertainer Awards, they won a Daesung for Album of the Year and Best Group. At the Hanteo Music Awards, they won a Daesung for Best Performance and a Bon Song. At the Mama Awards, they were honored with the Fans' Choice Top 10. At the Golden Disc Awards, they received the Bon Song for Best Album. The Korean Grand Music Awards, they won Best Song. At the Asia Artist Awards, they received the award for Best K-Pop Record. Among the members, Hyunjin became the main face of global campaigns for Versace. He attended multiple brand events around the world. Han was named ambassador for the luxury brand Balmain. Lee No was appointed ambassador for Gucci. He attended exclusive brand events in Seoul and Milan. Seungmin made his Paris Fashion Week debut with Loway. Felix collaborated with Nayeon on the song No Problem. In addition, all members surpassed 10 million followers on their individual social media accounts. Finally, we arrive at 2025. On January 5th, Felix collaborated with the Japanese singer Lisa for the main theme of the second season of the anime Solo Leveling. On January 22nd, they performed at the Gala des Pièces Jaunes in Paris. It was a charity event organized by the Hospitals Foundation. From February 14th to 16th, they held their 5th fan meeting titled Stray Kids, 5 o'clock at Inspire Arena in Incheon. On March 10th, Felix walked once again for Louis Vuitton during Paris Fashion Week. He participated in the Women Fall-Winter 2025 to 2026 runway. On March 21st, they released Mixtape Dominate. It included the highly anticipated Korean version of Giant. The release served as a gift for their 7th anniversary. The Dominate World Tour then fully expanded with dates in Latin America. On March 27th and 28th, they performed in Chile. On April 1st, 5th, and 6th, they performed in Brazil. On April 9th, they performed in Peru. On April 12th and 13th, they performed in Mexico. In total, the tour gathered more than 2 million attendees across 54 concerts worldwide. Approximately $260 million were generated in revenue. It became the highest attended global tour by a K-pop group. On June 18th, they released their 3rd Japanese mini-album titled Hollow. It was their first mini-album composed exclusively of original Japanese songs. The album includes 5 tracks, with the title, Song Hollow, as the lead single. The main track explores the emotional sacrifices behind success and fame. The music video uses the visual metaphor of the members as puppets, controlled by strings. On August 22nd, they released their 4th full studio album titled Karma. The title track was Ceremony. It became their 7th consecutive #1 album on the Billboard 200. The title, Karma, plays with the word calmer. It follows the slogan, When bad karma arrives, we will calm it with our good karma. The album concept is set in the year 2081. It unfolds within a fictional universe called Karma Sports. In this universe, Each member of Stray Kids is portrayed as a legendary champion from different eras. The concept compares music destiny and triumph to elite-level sports competitions. It serves as a powerful metaphor for struggle growth and the cycle of cause and effect they have experienced since their debut. The music video also features the world-renowned player Faker. The album Karma contains 11 tracks with a wide range of styles. It sold more than 2 million copies on its first day, setting a record for Korean releases in 2025. It surpassed 3 million sales in its first week. Karma also topped album charts in multiple countries, including South Korea, France, Germany, and the United States. On November 21st, they released the single Do It. It served as the lead single of a new Mixtape project album created in collaboration with Divine. The trailer was unexpectedly revealed on October 19th. It was shown during the final concert of their world tour at the main stadium in Incheon. Do It delivers a message about acting with confidence, avoiding hesitation, and taking direct action. It encourages listeners to face life with determination and energy. The music video and promotional photos present the members as modern mystics. The visual concept blends dark and ethereal aesthetics. The song reached number 11 on Spotify Global Top Songs, with more than 3.3 million daily streams after its release. As previously mentioned, they received major awards that year. At the Mama Awards, they won Album of the Year for Karma. They also received the Fans' Choice Mail Top 10. At the Asia Artist Awards, they won 8 awards. These included Best K-Pop Record, Best Artist, Best Producer awarded to 3 Racha, Grand Presence of K-Pop presented to Felix, and Best Choice awarded to Hyunjin. At the Korean Grand Music Awards, they won 5 trophies. Among them were 2 D-songs for Grand Record and Grand Honors Choice. At the Fact Music Awards, they won 4 awards. At the K-World Dream Awards, they received 4 more trophies. Beginning 2026, at the Golden Disc Awards, they received the award for Best Album.